Oconomowoc is threatening a mom because the mom criticized Oconomowoc schools for allowing age-inappropriate sexualized content on the school library system and sometimes in classrooms. What's going on?
Well, this is a case about free speech. We represent a mother in the Oconomowoc School District who became concerned because she thought that certain age-inappropriate material was being made available through a system that the school employs to allow students to access written materials. She complained about that. There was discussion of it at a board meeting. She felt that the school district indicated that they would look into it. She heard that they had not resolved the problem. She made further inquiry to the school district and to the board president. She didn't feel that she got a straight answer. She then testified at a legislative hearing indicating and describing the experiences that she had had with the district. There was also a post on a website a couple of months later. And in response to that, the school district has asked its lawyer to send her a cease and desist letter threatening to sue her for defamation.
Wow.
And, the problem with this is that, public officials just don't get to sue people for defamation. I mean, in the rarest of circumstances, they might be able to. But our United States Supreme Court has made clear that a citizen who wishes to speak about a public official, to exercise his or her right as a citizen in a democracy, cannot be sued for defamation unless what they said is both false. Now, we don't believe that anything our client said was false, but that even if it is false, it has to have been said with reckless disregard for its truth or falsity, and she certainly did not act with reckless disregard for its truth or falsity. And so this is a defamation case that cannot be won, and it's very difficult to avoid the conclusion that what's going on here is an effort to essentially communicate to residents of the Oconomowoc School District that at least certain type of criticism will just not be tolerated, and it has an intimidating and a chilling effect. It should not be done. This is not the first time that we have heard of a school district. I'm not talking about Oconomowoc, but other school districts employing this tactic. And in this instance, we had a client who was courageous enough to come forward, and we're calling foul on this. We can disagree about what materials should be used in school curriculum. We can disagree about what is and isn't age inappropriate, but this type of tactic, I think, is inconsistent with living in a democracy and in a republic where, people get to express their views and we have a public conversation and we try to reach a decision.
It's thug kind of behavior. You have those lawyers and they know exactly what you said, that this woman is not going to ever successfully be found, in violation of a defamation statute. That'll never happen. They know it. They wanted her to back off or have to face legal fees she likely couldn't afford. Now, I mean, you're not going to defend her, in a defamation case. This is a constitutional question that you are on. That's what Will does. You take up cases that regard the Constitution. But she was going to have to hire someone at probably $400 or $500 an hour if, in fact, she was sued for defamation, even though she would likely win at the end of all of that. This is just meant to shut her up. And by the way, in defense of what she said about the age inappropriate material of the books that she listed, I own 3 of them, and they are wildly inappropriate for children, particularly a book called It's Perfectly Normal, which has cartoon depictions of adults having sex. So all she said was, I don't want my kids to have access to this or other kids to have access to this in the school library system without my knowledge ahead of time. And that was enough to get Oconomowoc schools to sick the wingtips and the briefcases on her.
Yeah, this really is, it's not something that we've seen much of over the years. It seems to be a more recent tactic, and it's a disturbing one. If parents, if citizens in a community have to be concerned that if they say the wrong thing, or if, notwithstanding all the care that they may have used, it turns out that something they said wasn't absolutely accurate, that they could be sued, they could be liable for damages, they could have to pay a lawyer, they could lose their home or their business. It was almost 60 years ago that the United States Supreme Court, in a case called New York Times versus Sullivan, recognized that to permit that to happen is inconsistent with the robust protection of free speech, which is provided for by our First Amendment. And so this requires that local officials develop a thick skin, that they come to understand that the best solution for speech that they don't like is for them to respond to it and not to call out the lawyers as much as I like lawyers. And so we decided that we would represent this Oconomowoc mom, and we will. And, we're giving notice right now that this type of tactic is not going to be tolerated. And so if there are, public officials across the state, whether they be, in this school district or any other, who think that this is an appropriate way to moderate and police public discourse, we're going to show them that it's not.